Who I believe to be the true birthers of choosing beggars, it's entitled parents. Our first one is from Flop Shinobi. Well, this is a first for me. I went to lunch at a local place known for their fried chicken sandwiches. I had to sit outside because the place was packed, but they have plenty of covered seating and some nice fans. So even though it was 95 degrees, it was tolerable. Anyway, I sit down and already know what I want to order. So even though the table service was slow due to them being super busy, I got my order in on the waiter's first pass. However, the table behind me was already occupied by this incredibly obnoxious couple and their teenage son. I could overhear them simultaneously arguing about what to order and also complaining about the slow service. I guess they were in another waiter's section though, because they were still waiting to order after the waiter left my table. They finally got someone to their table and ordered, but with complaints. Poor waiter. Less than 10 minutes later, here comes my food.
"Oh, hell no,"
yelps the dad.
"That dude got here like 10 minutes after us, and he gets his food first?"
At first, I think he's complaining to the waiter. But no, these comments are directed at me.
Hey, asshole, why come?"
Yes, this is apparently Idiocracy, and he literally said the word, "why come?"
"You got your sandwich first. Hey, you hear me?"
I ignore, but this guy gets up and walks behind me, then literally steals my plate from the table before I'd even taken a bite.
"You can wait, mother effer. My kid's hungry."
To this point, I haven't heard a word from this kid's mouth, so if he was hungry, he was speaking only with his baleful puppy eyes.
"Eat it,"
says the dad. Okay, so here's the thing. This place does spicy chicken. They have like 7 levels of spice, and George likes his chicken spicy. I'd ordered the next to hottest option, which is a combination of Scotch bonnet and ghost pepper sauce. Not pure ghost pepper. It's hot enough to make you cry, and as my kids say, I burned off most of my taste buds. And this kid, at his a-hole dad's urging, chows down before I even stand up and protest. Like, before I can even stand up and say, "What the actual fudge, dickweed?" This kid has taken a Cookie Monster bite out of the sandwich that is slathered in a 1,000,000 Scoville sauce. And the gagging is immediate. You know that frat party you went to your sophomore year and they were chugging jungle juice and the sound from the backyard 30 minutes in? Yeah, that. He's gagging, choking, then vomiting all over his dad. His mom is screaming. The people at the next table are jumping up. Plates are falling. A-hole dad is screaming at me,
"What did you do to my son?"
And I just start laughing. I'm standing there at my picnic table while this circus erupts around me. 2 waiters come running over. Dad is screaming. Kid is still wheezing and choking. Mom is crying. One person at the next table over is literally crying with laughter. Another looks like she's about to vomit. Laughing guy speaks up and steps between the dad and me, who looks like a real-life, human anger from inside out. We explain what happened to the manager, who's since showed up, as evidenced by the fact that their order is just showing up. Anyway, they pack up their meals to go, tell them they're not welcome back at this establishment, start cleaning up, and the manager takes me inside, gives me a replacement meal, a $50 gift card, and asks me to please not write a negative review or press charges. So that happened. 2025, y'all. It's wild here. The fact that this entitled father set off a chain of events all because of his entitlement, got his son sick, got himself puked on, got themselves barred from that restaurant, it never ceases to amaze me. Just how entitled some people can be. And our final one is by QET-TV. So, to preface this story, I have OCD and am on the autism spectrum. I have this weekly routine of going to a specific bubble tea place every Sunday, sitting in the same corner of the restaurant that's a little hole in the wall, less noisy than the rest of the place, which is why I like it, because I am sound averse. Usually when I get here it is occupied, but I just sit at a random table for a little while until it frees up, and then I move in for the rest of the evening, until closing time. On the weeks I don't get to do this, my anxiety flares up and both my sense of time and my week are totally fucked until my next ritual comes around. All the way on Friday. Yeah, OCD sucks. Today, I arrived to the place, and miraculously, the spot in the wall was empty. The second I sat down, this random middle-aged man gave me a death stare from across the room, but went back to his drink and his kids. Two little hurricanes who would not stop running around and tossing balloons around in the cafe. The girl, must be around 7 or so, eventually showed up at the little hole and crawled up and started playing with her balloon as I was doing schoolwork, being very loud and distracting and having no sense of personal space. I'm deathly afraid of scaring children due to my own childhood, so I kinda just stared at her until she went away, because I didn't want to spook her. She eventually left. 5 minutes later, she comes back with her brother, presumably around the same age, if not a little older. Now, he didn't talk much, but there was something about his general energy and the way he dressed. Example, those glasses that are strapped around the back. And his face told me that he was probably a special needs kid too. I repeated the exact same thing as before, just staring at them. But this time it didn't work. So I said, excuse me? And the two kept playing. Then I stared at their dad, and when they realized, they scampered off to him. About only a minute later, this grown man with his two little hurricanes comes back and starts asking me to let the kids play there, that there's enough space, etc, etc. I tell them that both of them have come dangerously close to stepping on my tablet, where I do my work, multiple times, and that they are very noisy and it's difficult for me to concentrate with that volume. He then pulls out the "My son is autistic though" card. Knew it. To which I replied, well yeah, I'm autistic too, and I need my peace and quiet to be able to work, so please just tell your kids not to crawl into the wall right now. He started going off about how I was clearly less autistic than his son. What? And that they deserve to be able to play. At this point, I kinda snapped and told him that it was terrible parenting for him to be using his son's disability as an excuse for them to walk all over people. That this wasn't some kind of competition, and that his kids would still be able to play perfectly fine without disturbing me as long as they stayed out of the hole. He got mad and, for some reason, decided to call one of the baristas over. He explained the situation as, "This brat won't let my kids play and have fun despite the fact my son is autistic." The barista, however, knew me because of my frequent visits, so she just told him that she doubted that and to keep his kids in check and in their seats, or they'd all be kicked out of the cafe. He just huffed and scampered off to his seat, and that was the end of it. I'm glad he got his instant karma, but geez. The entitlement of this guy to try to minimize my own disability just so his kids could be annoying freely? Edit, quick addendum. I'm like 16. Like, I'm not a grown adult trying to deny these kids their playtime. I'm literally just a few years older, which is why I found his urge to argue with me insane. This definitely sounds like an example of a parent that feels entitled to have everybody else take care of their kids but themselves. The fact that they, as an adult, are crutching on their child's disability to use as an excuse for that says it all. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled Parents. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.